How's it going? You're gonna have to catch me up. I was like so busy. I've caught like some of this, right? Of this spin. So they gained 4 million subs in a quarter. Did I get that right?
7
Well,
million.
okay, 7 million was the total figure they gave Gary. Now,
Is that Disney Plus and Hotstar, or is it?
It's okay. So it's all of Disney Plus. They're talking about the core market, so non-Hotstar. But here's the thing, Gary. This is what we've been talking about, is that I have to dig through the report to see if there's any additional color that they didn't bring attention to in the call that may or may not be in there. But don't forget that they just had to basically drop their trousers to Charter and Spectrum about a month or two ago. And part of that deal was what? They had to give all the Charter and Spectrum customers access to wholesale Disney Plus for basically like no additional kind of fee. So we saw 7 million new subscribers net, but a lot of those may have already been retail subscribers that then canceled, signed up under their Charter subscription where they don't pay an additional fee for it, although Charter is paying something back to Disney for it at a wholesale rate. And they may have also had of the 14 million Charter subscribers, how many of them never had a Disney Plus account that now have one for free and just signed up for it? Because we saw the average revenue per user decrease for Disney Plus in the same month they said they added 7 million subs. So it seems like a lot of this is baked into that Charter deal.
That's really crazy how that works, that we gained more subs and lost almost $400 million this quarter. And what's their spin going to be? Hey, we didn't lose $1 billion, or we didn't,
Right. Gary, that was the spin.
We won.
That was exactly it.
In the financial report, it literally said a year ago we lost 1.4. This year we lost 0.4.
Well, that was when he said we're going to restore creativity by making fewer stinkers at Marvel and Lucas and everything else. I said, yeah, well, okay. So in other words, it's like Monty Python. That hasn't got much bad movies that lose money in it. You know, the spam routine. It's just
real quick while I have this up. I'm just going to say this is because Box Office Pro didn't have this. So Box Office Pro is looking at $39 to $45 million for the opening weekend domestically of the Marvels. So that's reduced significantly. Variety is suggesting
more realistic, by the way.
It does. Variety is suggesting, well, they're aiming for 60, but now they're giving some color on international figures, and they're saying it's projected to collect 80 million internationally for a worldwide start of 140. I can't wait to see where that comes from because I don't know where.
What was the international for the original? And I understand that it came before Endgame, and that's the only reason it succeeded.
It was like another 600-700 million.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, it was because it was positioned before Endgame with you have to go see this movie. But it sucks. I know, but you got to see this movie because it's right before Endgame. You don't have that anymore. There's nothing to lead into this movie, and there's nothing this movie leads into after it. So this is what you get. And like I've been saying, I don't know, Gary, if you heard me even talking about this, but I said, if they had paid attention to merchandise sales for Captain Marvel instead of ticket sales for Captain Marvel, they would have known, don't do this frickin' movie.
No.
And don't spend $300 million screwing it up and reshooting it and everything else. So, Gary, what do you think?
About the Marvels?
Or about all of it. Yeah.
All of it. Okay.
Go for the Marvels first if you want.
Well, no, like Disney lost almost $500 million again, just on its streaming service. They're calling that a victory. It's
not as bad as it was.
It's not as bad as it was, but they did have Indiana Jones, Ahsoka. So on the surface, if you weren't into this nerd stuff every day like we are, you would just go, well, Ahsoka's a popular Star Wars character within some of the Star Wars fandom. Everybody loves Indiana Jones. They had a Marvel movie came out that did pretty well, by the way, in the box office. They had Guardians of the Galaxy. These were all rolling over to Disney Plus, Little Mermaid, record numbers, and they still lost money. They still lost, and they put out a bunch of stuff that failed. Usually we see the consequences of that down the line too. I mean, wait till next year. Wait till after this next flop with the Marvels, and then whatever Wish does, and then there's 4 months of nothing. Oh, I'm sorry, Echo. There's Echo and What If.
Acolyte.
I think that's still nothing. So you're
still
good.
nothing. That's still nothing. As much as people were talking about, we talked about this a little bit, Valiant, and I'll have to talk to you about it more, like not online. Sorry, but
I hear you. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I had a conversation with somebody at Comic-Con. Me and Garrett did on the floor and it was enlightening. And it was with a person who potentially could work with Marvel. And that was the first person to tell me, like, first thing they told me is they know they screwed up and they're trying to fix things. And they tried to cancel Echo and couldn't due to contractual obligations. They tried, and this is after trying to fix it. They tried to fix it multiple times. They're like, it's not fixable. So we're just gonna like pretend as put it. This is not from my person, by the way. As put it from somebody at Marvel, is they're trying to skate over thin ice as fast as possible, right? So we have this big, and now we have COVID part 2, thanks to the strike, which isn't over, by the way. Yeah, I can't believe it's not over, but it's not over, and this thing could go on. We're gonna have COVID part 2, and this is and remember, COVID last time, it was the streaming boom. They don't have that this time.
No.
So the chickens have really come home to roost for Disney, and they are fully exposed right now. They can, I'm not a financial analyst at all. Obviously, I just concentrate on what they put out, and it's been crap after crap after crap consistently. Every Disney Plus show. You notice how Disney Plus doesn't have an identity, right? Like, you kind of know a Netflix show now. You kind of have an idea for it. Amazon's getting there. I mean, aside from adapting fantasy, but on other stuff, they're kind of getting there. HBO definitely has an identity. You know, like, what they make. Disney Plus does have one, though, actually. You have a couple of episodes where the fans get excited of a Disney Plus series or a Star Wars series, Disney Star Wars series, and then by the end of it, nobody's interested, everybody hates it, and it gets forgotten within a week. That's happened 11 or 12 times in a row. They don't know how to make television. They don't know what this streaming... Hulu's their godsend right now, because that's the only thing that might be valuable that, people had from the before times, that was like kind of second to Netflix at the time when it was just old TV shows that was on it. And I kind of missed that anyway. But no, this is a company that's on its way down that will not be able to turn things around within the next half decade.
Yeah,
you're on a cascade. You're having a cascade effect right now.
To get you up further, Gary, most astounding was that they had the balls, both the CFO and the CEO had the gall and the balls to basically say that they were sure that profitability and would happen by the end of next year, 12 months from today, in terms of all of Disney Plus stuff for the whole year.
What is going to drive that profitability, I wonder?
Well, we talked a little bit earlier about that, and it's. I'm glad you brought it up again because, like I said, I know audiences kind of coming in and out, and it's worth repeating. And that is that what I see going on is that all of these massive cuts in terms of the number of programs, especially the big ticket items, right? Bob Iger made it clear back in July. Yeah, we got to kind of dial it back on the number of Marvel products that we put on Disney Plus. That's a big one. You're spending $200 million per production on the small side, I guess, to put those things out. If you cut back on the number of those pieces of content and you pull back on the budgets of the content that you do let through, and if you then also compound that with price increases, they're mostly going to grow their way to profitability by cutting costs. That's what I'm seeing. It's not going to be a matter of they're going to suddenly radically increase revenues, still spend the same amount of money making content and make it. They're going to be slashing costs. And when you look at the number of pieces of content that are likely to actually dump onto Disney Plus in 2024, largely due to the strikes in Hollywood, that's probably how they're going to get there. Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.